Lekker boys.
Nerves.
Nerves of
Yes.
steel.
Excuse the apron. I did Rye. I was the man of the tongue.
It was a great Rye.
Goodness.
I definitely
How did we
went
win that
to-
game.
I went to negative town.
No, I was really when Grant Williams, when we got a penalty against us, when Grant Williams tried to like take that gap in the line out,
Yeah.
I was like, now we're gonna get a hiding.
Yeah.
Here comes 40 points to the All Blacks.
27-17. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a bit of a crazy game.
Should we have won? Let's start there.
Yes. We should have, because we did.
I think in rugby it's like in cricket sometimes, or in football sometimes you think yes, the best team lost, but in rugby that hardly ever happens unless the referee makes like a seriously bad call.
Let's start there. So fussy. Was that a yellow card? Apparently it was because when there's a tackle you have to.
There's an
the
offside
rule has
line
changed.
across the
Someone said
field.
The rule has changed.
Apparently it's a new law, but even if it was a penalty, was it a yellow? Absolutely not.
I think it was a yellow. If that was a penalty, it was a yellow because he tackled.
He stopped
the
a guy
I've seen,
from-
For instance, 2 years ago, we got Australia got a yellow for exactly the same thing against us, where the guy makes a tackle from an offside position, like right by the try line. So
Look, we were all completely frazzled. We didn't understand what had just happened. We didn't know what the hell. Why is that a penalty? This is a ridiculous bad ref call. We've just heard that that's a new law. So I can't verify that for sure. I'm just saying that if it is the new law and we were offsides, fine, whatever. But
look, we put ourselves
man,
under
that
pressure.
caught me off guard.
We put ourselves under pressure from the get go, there in the beginning of the game.
Yeah, 2 bad errors by Ben Jason Dixon.
Yeah.
On both occasions led to a try.
And the All Blacks fed off that, and I think they did well with that. They were clinical with that. When we made an error, they went for it.
Yeah, they did. And in a horrible, badly misjudged pass that led to a intercept try. I actually thought the intercept try was the turning moment of the game. I thought so early in the second half, just to give it to them like that. And Jordie Barrett's got a bit of pace, eh? Sure.
Yeah.
I didn't realise.
You couldn't catch him. But going back now to our try as well, our first try, was that a try? Did we knock the Bongi?
We don't know. I don't know. It looked like he could have knocked it on, but it also looked like it could have been a try. We'd have to look at that in the replays.
If you lose control of the ball, and the ball touches the opposing player, and that helps you to regain control,
it's a knock-on.
It's a knock-on.
Yeah.
But is that what happened?
Yeah.
That's the way I saw it.
I'm 50-50 because we didn't get a lot of look at it.
Yeah.
They didn't focus on it and keep replaying it enough for us to. That's actually what they should have done. They should have stopped. They should have looked at that thing a lot and then decided is this a try or not a try?
Is a terrible referee. Massive.
Sure, yeah, I know. There were some weird calls tonight.
Yes, it went in our favour, actually. Yeah. It went against us and in our favour.
I think it was consistently bad, like not bad, but like not 100%.
Even the way he officiated the scrums as well was not.
Yeah, see, there were at least three penalties in those scrums that should have come to South Africa. At least.
What do you think the All Blacks did well? I thought they were reasonably error-free on attack, and they built like a lot of pressure. And their handling errors, I saw at the end there was like 5 handling errors to our 9.
Yeah.
I think that they got around our rush defence pretty well. Hey? I mean, if you think about the tries they scored.
No, I think they were more structured than they've been. If you look at since the first game against Argentina, where they made a lot of mistakes by just playing what used to be called in Super Rugby, it used to be called basketball rugby, where you just throw the ball around and stuff. It was more like a test rugby style of play, which I think is something that Scott Robertson has to get used to. To play, to adapt from Crusaders rugby to Test rugby, and I thought they were actually very, very good.
I thought they did enough to win the game.
Yeah, but that's the thing, dude. Like, I just thought they played normal rugby. I thought some of their tactics were very good, and I thought they won the aerial battle. So their kicks, I thought were exceptional.
Maybe they were too safe. I mean, you saying normal rugby, maybe they played it a bit too safe.
Yeah, but if we, like for example, if the Springboks didn't mess around with the back line, and we did a few things differently. Like for example, we didn't put Jesse on the wing.
We had to. Yeah, didn't we?
No, I would have put Fossey on the wing, and I would have put Feinberg Nombazuli at full back, and I would have put Pollard in at 10. Then you would have had a pretty normal setup. But I think because of that 6-2 split and having those injuries and then bringing on those guys and having to mess the back line around, I think that gave them easy space.
Yeah.
They scored that one try. Caleb Clark's one try was just through the hands on the outside. No international team should score as easily as that.
And we actually saw that against Portugal as well.
Yeah,
like Portugal.
It's much too easy.
Yeah, they scored a couple of tries against us. Yeah,
by going wide.
Yeah, they're just putting it wide. Yeah.
So I mean, Caleb Clark had a pretty good game.
He did have a very good game, and he was good in the air. But
I was watching the game.
The All Blacks, this is the highlights from last week. But the All Blacks they're the real deal. Eh? That you're playing. This is the real deal.
Ireland, if not better.
Yeah.
Sorry?
They're as good as Ireland, if not better.
Yeah.
They're not as good as Ireland, dude. In my opinion. No, Ireland are another league. Ireland would have killed us if we had played rugby like that tonight.
It's good to win a game when you're not at your best.
Yeah.
We hardly ever beat the All Blacks if we're not at our best.
100%. Yeah, to come back like that. I mean, if you think about it, when have we done that? Like, I'm thinking like 1998 in Durban, where we were like 12.
We were behind.
Yeah.
Points down, whatever, and then we come back.
Look, the mindset of some of our players got us there. Like Feinberg, Nomgazuli at the end there, Fasi, Kwacha. Those guys just saying, listen, guys, we got to get there. We got to win. We got to bring the noise. Let's bring speed. And I think that got us in the right mindset.
Did we have the fitness?
Yes, I think so.
Maybe that's what it was. Although they did it together.
Ulrich Lowe, you want to say?
Yeah, I just thought Ulrich Lowe had an outstanding game. I thought the Bulls guys, Ruan Nokia, Ulrich Lowe, Gerard Steenekamp had looked the part.
Yeah.
It really
that
did.
One error that Steenekamp made.
Yes.
That we said it was debatable. Where from I think it was from the kickoff.
Yeah.
When
he was the supporter.
Then Steenekamp went down. And
then that one hand, but like
we didn't.
It was like seriously debatable.
That's never going to be a black mark.
That's like a URC call.
Yeah.
I've got to ask a question about which was a very clear new sort of tactic, was to have Siya Kolisi running in between the inside and the outside centre, which seemed very predictable.
Yeah, it didn't work, not even once.
It didn't.
Failed 3 times.
Yeah. I don't remember it working particularly well.
You sort of, at this level of rugby, you sort of want different players to take that position, not the same guy every time.
Yeah.
Like if you look at New Zealand rugby and stuff, even props take up that position where they turn their back and they pass the ball back to the fly-off and he does a run around and all sorts of stuff. Yeah. So for me,
so predictable.
That was the reason for the reason for the intercept try was because that became so predictable.
But it was too flat as well.
Yeah. Like the centre passing it to Kolisi, and it was just like.
It's not like Damien Leonard to not think before he does something. So he's so rehearsed. But also, what leads to that is us just taking it off the top of the line out so fast. Why don't you take it in, pull everyone in, and then give yourself some depth?
We saw also against the Aussies, like when we played in the wet.
Yeah.
Like we wondered why Ronald Keir was like slapping it down.
Yes.
It seemed like he was really, but it must
like
be
the
coached.
idea is to get it off the line out as quickly as possible.
It must be coached. We saw today.
Yeah, but it's a disadvantage. It's a stupid tactic.
Yeah.
Like
take it in and give yourself time.
If I have to, my personal opinion is that Rassie is telling Tony Brown, okay, let me give you your opportunity to get the guys to play the way you want to play. And if it doesn't work, Rassie might say, okay, no, it's too this quick way of playing, getting it off the top so quickly, having a guy in the midfield bashing up all the time, and this sort of thing, it's not working. Let's go back to the traditional.
Yeah. I don't think that is us. I don't think it's SA Rugby. I don't think that playing like this is going to work for us in the long term.
Yeah.
And I think our strength and the reason we dominate is because of our traditional strengths.
Yeah.
And that's who we are, and that's how we're always going to be. Like, that's it. It doesn't mean we can't score brilliant tries. I mean, look at the Bulls. The Bulls scored the most tries in the ORC this year.
Yeah.
We can score millions of tries.
Just because you play conservatively doesn't mean that you can't score amazing tries.
Exactly. But just like win it up front.
It's so obviously on.
Yeah.
You know, and if you think about today's, I mean, like when we scored, we didn't. It was like kind of tight, isn't it? We kind of kicked to the corner, and then we sort of like pick and go, and then we scored it. There was nothing. Even though we were throwing the ball around, it still came back to what we're good at.
I actually think we were better in the second half from keeping it a little bit tighter than in the first half. We said Pieter Steph de Troy was man of the match, but Damien Dalenda had an amazing game.
Yeah, barring that pass, he had 2 turnovers on the ground.
Yeah.
He was tackling all over the place. I thought Jesse Creel also had a pretty good game.
Pretty good game.
The only person who had a dud game today was Ben Jason Dixon, and he was pulled early. I'm not saying ditch him completely. I'm just saying he had a dud game.
I think
maybe he can be better next week or whatever.
Maybe edge the header in there.
Yes,
Ulrich he's a 7.
Ulrich made a big difference, especially from carrying the ball out of the kickoffs. He made a lot of meters.
But Ulrich outshone
some huge flanker.
No, and he outshone Ben Jason Dixon in the URC by a long way. Guys, honestly, it was a surprise to everybody, really, that Jason Dixon got that call ahead of him. But I'm not saying he's a bad player. I'm just saying that
because he's played that lock before, and because of the lock crisis.
Dixon, and he's a huge guy. I mean, he's massive. He's tall, a lot of work rate.
It was just.
Actually, he was really good in the lineouts, Dixon. He gives you such a good option. I'm not knocking him. I'm just saying that.
We're not knocking anyone. It's just that
Ulrich looked really good.
Dixon played against Portugal and the Wallabies, and this was the real deal.
And Nortje looked good. He looked really good, and he's got a big engine, and he can go the full 80 minutes.
He looked really, really good.
When he got that bump on the head, he was like, just strap it. Did you see? He was like, just strap it.
Are we worried about?
Put some hummus on it.
We worried about Orense, eh? He took a massive knock to the head, and I remember one early in the season. I don't know if he's going to play again.
I think Mapimpi, the guys we have in the tank, is fine. If Mapimpi comes in, I think it's alright.
He won't let you down.
No.
We got Edward van der Merwe, Mapimpi, Kanan Moody. Even Moody. Yeah, we've got lots of guys.
Remember Cheslin's played on the left wing before as well.
I thought Cheslin had a really good game, actually.
Yeah,
he did.
Yeah.
Kanan played well for the Bulls on the weekend. So
I also thought Reinach had a good game. I thought while Reinach was on the field, he had a pretty good game,
No, very good.
But, and then Marks needs to work on his lineup.
The lineup looks tentative. Always looks like he's like...
We must have lost 2 or 3.
The lineouts let us down there at the end. But, New Zealand came to play and they played. It was hardcore. It was
I thought they were going
pretty
to
cool. Bowden Barrett was very quiet.
Yeah.
Don't you guys think? And he wasn't like...
he made some errors as well, eh?
Made some errors. He was very quiet. Damien McKenzie doesn't scare you as an opposition supporter. I'm sorry.
He's actually better as like an impact player.
Probably, but Richie Moanga definitely scares you. But not Damien McKenzie. I thought the midfield for the All Blacks was very quiet.
I saw Ioane a lot.
Ioane was actually very active. He was thereabouts.
Who's the insider? That just shows you.
Jordy.
No.
Jordy, of course. No, I saw Jordy. I thought Jordy was there were some balls that.
Are you sure? Who played fullback?
He dealt with those well.
Bowden Barrett played fullback. That's right.
He handled the high balls pretty well, and he got that intercept.
No, Jordy Barrett is an outstanding rugby player.
I don't think New Zealand played badly.
Dude, they played well.
They played extremely well.
They really played well.
Yeah.
I just think that they're just still finding their feet with a few new guys.
Who's their mullet flanker?
Ethan Blackadder.
Yeah, he's a workhorse.
Todd from the Crusaders' son.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Blackadder.
Okay, and then look, I mean, it's awesome to play the All Blacks. It's the best.
It was a great occasion.
Like nothing beats playing the All Blacks.
So much better is that I expected us to lose.
I was ready to go outside.
I was like,
you were saying you're going to go sit by the fire.
It's going to be a terrible evening.
We don't have a fire.
No, we don't have a fire.
I think
it's going to be terrible.
I hate it when Rusty experiments so much. I hate it. I don't think it's good for anybody. I think you've got to be consistent.
I think we need to really revise the game plan and find something in between what traditional Springbok rugby is and what Tony Brown from New Zealand wants us to do. Because we can't. I don't think we can play that absolute expansive game. I mean,
we're not New Zealand.
We saw a knock on from Siya Kolisi early on, and the ball being shifted in contact, and those mistakes, we don't want to see that. We want to see like popping the ball in contact and stuff. We don't want to encourage that. We want the basics done brilliantly, and like we used to say, earn the right to go wide.
Yeah.
Yes. I actually thought Razor tactically was smart. I thought the All Blacks tactically were spot on. I just think they couldn't execute like they've done in the past.
Well,
and we had a very good defence.
If they had scored, when they got that penalty from Grant Williams trying to go through the line out, they got the penalty there in 22. If they had scored there, they would have won the game.
Well, they would have been way too far ahead.
That was the killer blow, and hopefully they don't have that killer blow next weekend.
Yes, I'm so happy.
They can win easily next weekend.
Yeah, no, for sure, definitely. No,
it can go like that.
Underestimate them.
We just stepped up another gear, and we focused a bit better in the last 10 minutes, and that got us through.
Thank goodness.
Anyway.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Lekker. I don't have any more beers with me.